Dear God, we invoke your blessings upon Governor John Carney and Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long as they begin their second inauguration, their second term of office here in the state of Delaware. And dear God, what a beautiful location to choose to invoke your blessings right here on Wilmington Congregation Beth Shalom's Bema pulpit with the Holy Ark behind us, with the 5 books of Moses, the foundation of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. From the book of Numbers, we invoke your blessings, dear God, as our governor and lieutenant governor keep us safe, the way that Moses tried to keep his sister safe by saying, El na rafanala, God, heal her, please. Dear God, invoke our governor and lieutenant governor as they keep us safe from COVID-19. And from the book of Leviticus, we hear your command, dear God, to ahafta et re'echa kamocha, to love our neighbor as ourselves. Dear God, we invoke your blessing upon our governor and lieutenant governor as they bring good education to every citizen of the state of Delaware, from the youngest to the oldest. And from the book of Exodus, we hear your command to remember the widow, the orphan, and the stranger in our midst, because we were slaves unto Pharaoh in Egypt. Dear God, we hear in this an invocation against those that are marginalized in our society, that we should lift them up out of poverty and protect those who are suffering from bigotry and prejudice. Upon John Carney and Bethany Hall Long, we come back to where we began in the book of Numbers with a threefold benediction. Yavarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav enecha v'yichuneka. May God cause his face to light upon you, be gracious to you. Yesad Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift his face towards you, be gracious to you, and give you that most precious gift of all, the gift of wholeness, the gift of completeness, the gift of peace. And let us all say, Amen.
Lieutenant Governor, place your right hand on the Bible. Now repeat after me. I, Bethany A. Hall Long,
I, Bethany A. Hall Long,
do proudly swear
do proudly swear
to carry out the responsibilities
to carry out the responsibilities
of the office of Lieutenant Governor
of the office of Lieutenant Governor
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
freely acknowledging
freely acknowledging
that the powers of this office
that the powers of this office
flow from the people
flow from the people
I am privileged to represent.
I am privileged to represent.
I further swear
I further swear
always to place the public interests
always to place the public interest
above any special or personal interests,
above any special or personal interest,
and to respect the right
and to respect the right
of future generations
of future generations
to share the rich historic
to share the rich, historic,
and natural heritage of Delaware.
and natural heritage of Delaware.
In doing so,
In doing so,
I will always uphold and defend
I will always uphold and defend
the constitutions of my country
the constitutions of my country
and my state,
and my state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll sign the oath. Thank you. And in due fashion,
Okay.
we'll turn this to you. Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you very
again.
much. Thank you. Yep.
Are you prepared to take the oath?
I'm prepared to take the oath, and I'm smiling.
Please place your right hand on the Bible, raise your left hand, and repeat after me. I, John Charles Carney,
I, Charles Carney Jr.,
do proudly swear
do proudly swear
to carry out the responsibilities
to carry out the responsibilities
of the office of governor
of the office of governor
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
freely acknowledging
freely acknowledging
the powers of this office
the powers of this office
flow from the people
flow from the people
I am privileged to represent.
I am privileged to represent.
I further swear
I further swear
always to place the public interests
always to place the public interest
above any special or personal interests,
above any special or personal interests,
and to respect the right of future generations
and to respect the right of future generations
to share the rich historic
to share the rich, historic,
and natural heritage of Delaware.
and natural heritage of Delaware.
In doing so,
In doing so,
I will always uphold and defend
I will always uphold and defend
the constitutions of my country and my state.
the constitutions of my country and my state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Governor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You go first. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning. The past year challenged every single Delawarean in a way we haven't seen in more than a century. No one has been exempt from the reaches of this pandemic, and too many of our friends and neighbors paid the ultimate price. It's a bond we all would have chosen to forego. But the pain of the pandemic is not the only thing this year gave us. It also gave us a clear picture of what we could do as a state with each other and for each other. Doctors and nurses worked nights and weekends to treat patients with COVID. The National Guard staffed testing sites up and down the state, and over half of all Delawareans stepped up and got tested. Child care providers and correctional officers went to work every single day, even while the virus surged. You sacrificed visits with loved ones, family traditions, the camaraderie of the office or the classroom, a high school sports season, all to keep our most vulnerable citizens safe. And now the vaccine has arrived, and there is hope on the horizon. For me, and for so many of you, this year has been an incredible balancing act. We've tried to protect public health while protecting our economy. Preparing for the next year and the next 4 years will require this same balancing act. We'll continue to deal with the crisis at hand, but we will also plan for the future. We will move forward with optimism and hope.
We would describe 2020 in 2 words: tragic and exhausting.
Painful, lonely, and challenging.
The hardest thing I had to deal with in 2020 was just the feelings of loneliness and isolation.
Individuals who came through our food lines who said things like, I shouldn't be here. I've never had to do this before.
We've had to reimagine how we were going to do our church services.
The thing that really brought me hope was seeing the resiliency of the human spirit, because it really is an amazing thing.
Coming from the background of a person with a disability, we always knew how to adapt. We just needed the rest of America to catch up with us.
Running up and down the state in full Ebola suit, shoving a Q-tip up 10,000 people's noses.
Who knew the hottest commodity going would be toilet paper?
What got me through it was giving back, being about something, sticking together with the people that I believed in.
Our school nurses, they've been guardrails and headlights guiding us through this crazy pandemic.
We've seen volunteers step up every day.
A beacon of hope is on the way, and better days are ahead of us, Delaware. A vaccine is here.
I was honored to be the first person in the state of Delaware to receive it. I feel great.
We're going to wash up, we're going to mask up, we're going to continue to separate, and we're going to vaccinate.
Not to return to normal, but to something better and beyond that meets the needs of those that are most vulnerable.
2021 is going to get better. Don't give up.
I want to take this opportunity to thank all healthcare workers for stepping up. We see you, we hear you, we recognize you. Please recognize yourself and know we appreciate you.
It has been a privilege serving as your Lieutenant Governor over these past 4 years. I know this past year especially has been challenging, but as we look to 2021, I am filled with confidence and optimism. We will face the challenges that confront us by working together to build a safer, healthier, and stronger Delaware. The COVID-19 pandemic has hit us hard, touching the lives of every single Delawarean. We saw and felt the grief created with the death of our loved ones and the suffering endured through the loss of jobs, the hurt that was felt by our businesses, and especially our small businesses. But we also saw communities rallying around one another. We saw people act with kindness and compassion for one another. People from all over reached out to help their neighbors. Community advocates and leaders from all faiths, our legislators and elected officials from both parties, and members of our unions and non-unions all reached out to help their neighbors. You inspired us and gave us hope. As a public health nurse, I saw the challenges firsthand to test, to trace, and treat persons for COVID. It was nothing short of incredible. Nurses, doctors, first responders all put their own health at risk to provide care. Teachers completely had to reimagine and retool how they reach their students in a new virtual world. As the co-chair of the Pandemic Resurgence Advisory Committee, we witnessed firsthand the stinging effects of disparity felt by our communities of color in so many areas, including health and business, and the profound impact it has had. We also know the importance in this moment to make it right and equitable for everyone. Over these next 4 years, we will work to provide a first-class education for all children, ensure good paying jobs, and extend support to small businesses and address systemic racism and discrimination in our institutions. We have built a strong foundation to achieve these goals, beginning with the multiple vaccines that will become more widely available in the coming months. Getting vaccinated is one of the most important things you can do this year to help protect yourself, your loved ones, and our state. Governor Carney and I are committed to ensure the timely, equitable, and accessible distribution of the vaccines for all Delawareans. We need you to do your part and get vaccinated to protect yourself and your family. We cannot do this alone.
2021 is a year of hope and optimism. It won't be easy. There's a lot of work ahead, But I'm confident that Delaware will come out of this current crisis stronger than ever. 4 years ago, I promised to get our fiscal house in order. We kept that promise. As a result, unlike so many states around the country, Delaware is not facing a budget challenge this year. That means we're well positioned to rebuild, as President-elect Biden says, to build back better. We made promises last year before the pandemic hit, and I intend to make good on them. We will create jobs by investing in the largest infrastructure program in our state's history. We will make sure every Delaware family has clean drinking water. We will build a new school on the east side of Wilmington. It'll be the first new school in Delaware's largest city in more than a generation. We'll make historic investments in public schools statewide, focus on the students who need our help the most. We'll continue strengthening our economy, and we'll help those businesses recover that have been hit hard by the pandemic. My job as governor is to make sure Delaware comes out on top in a world that's more connected and more competitive than ever, and to make sure all Delawareans get a fair shot to succeed.
I wanted to talk to everybody about opportunity funding. We have been able to hire 28 instructional staff to support both our English learners and our students of low SES.
We used our opportunity funding grant to fund my position as an English language teacher. 65% of the students who I supported in a small group setting were able to meet their growth goals on the annual access exam.
The STAT has been able to provide our English learners and low-income students with counseling and behavioral interventions and supports.
We've also utilized some of the funding and staffing to provide targeted professional development opportunities for our teachers and our staff, so they have an in-depth understanding of our students, of their needs, and how to best address them, both as a school community as well as in the classroom.
I always wanted to come to Laurel and be a preschool teacher, and I'm so thankful that this grant has done that for me.
I look forward to expanding my small groups as well as working with the students to help them become their own advocate.
I would hope to see the trend continue where we are able to support both students, those who have a need for extra supports in reading and those who have extra supports with social emotional learning.
My hope is that we will continue to receive these opportunity funds for years to come.
I moved here 25 years ago, and I've been involved in business the whole time, and I really wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Inside is a Delaware story. We came here 15 years ago, and here now expanding from 17 to 1,700 people.
We have lots of small companies in here working together in a collaborative way in a tight-knit community, which Delaware really excels at, developing new business ideas.
The barriers to get into business are low.
The ability in this state to speak with decision makers.
The government has been a really great partner for Soto Concepts and for restaurants in Delaware.
It's a wonderful thing to have resources at your fingertips to grow your business.
We are on the path of continuing to expand and do research and development and commercialization of important products for patients with cancer and other autoimmune disease.
There's so many states that would love to have some of the pillars that we have in our economy. And I think we need to take that and bounce forward into the future. I think we're incredibly well positioned to do so.
The isolation many experience with COVID has made it difficult for persons in recovery and those suffering with substance use disorder or behavioral health challenges. I would like to take a moment to remember all of those who have lost their lives battling substance use disorder and offer my condolences to their families. As chair of the Behavioral Health Consortium, we remain committed to curbing this epidemic. We have opened more clinics and expanded services. We were the first in the nation to create an overdose system of care, connecting the dots between first responders, healthcare providers, and people in recovery. We continue to work to break down the stigma of substance use disorder and mental health conditions, to provide families with resources and support, and to distribute the life-saving drug naloxone to prevent overdose deaths. There is much work that needs to get done, but thankfully, the consortium remains committed to helping people and their families get the help and recovery assistance they need. We will create a behavioral health system that works for everyone.
Of all the lessons this past year has taught us, perhaps the most important had nothing to do with the pandemic, The George Floyd protests here in Wilmington and Dover and across our country showed us that we cannot continue to ignore the injustices faced by our brothers and sisters of color. We cannot return to the old normal, even to the normal of just last year. Here, too, we need to build back better, and we will. For the past 2 decades, you have trusted me with the responsibility of representing you as Lieutenant Governor in the U.S. Congress and now as your governor. You've given me the opportunity to get to know you and to get to know our state and to understand what's important to you. I will forever be grateful. While an inaugural address normally lays out what the next 4 years will look like, this last year has made crystal clear that none of us knows what the future holds. But regardless of what lies ahead, I promise to continue working hard every single day to support the causes you care about, to fight for what's important to you, and to make life better for every single Delawarean. Thank you for the privilege of serving as your governor. God bless you, God bless the state of Delaware, and God bless our great United States of America.